Hello and welcome to Possession Football as we continue our previews of UEFA Euro 2020. We now move on to the third team in Group B, Belgium. They came third in the 2018 FIFA World Cup and second in their First Nations League group, behind Switzerland but ahead of Iceland. They qualified first in Group I for this tournament, winning all 10 games. They then came first in their second Nations League group ahead of Denmark, England and Iceland, and they'll play in the finals. They've started World Cup qualifying with 2 wins against Wales and Belarus and a draw against the Czech Republic. They have 2 friendlies before the tournament at home to Greece and Croatia, and they're in Group B with Denmark in Copenhagen, Russia and Finland. Both of those games will be in St. Petersburg. Well, they were put into Group I with Russia, Scotland, Cyprus, Kazakhstan and San Marino. There you can see winning all of their games, including a 9-0 win against San Marino, 6-1 against Cyprus, a 4-0 win away to Scotland. Very impressive, even dispatching Russia with these 3-1 and 4-1 they have in their group. So very strong in qualifiers. Their manager is Roberto Martinez, whose playing career brought him a few trophies. It was a good career, but not a remarkable one. Probably the jewel in the crown was a Copa del Rey. His first management role was at Swansea, where he won the League One title, and that earned himself a move to Premier League Wigan, where he won an FA Cup, and impressed again, earning him a move to Everton. But he started well, but he was eventually sacked in 2016 with the team in 12th. He then moved to Belgium. So let's have a look at his honours. So as a player, he won the Copa del Rey, the English 3rd Division title, which is the 4th tier, 2 Football League trophies, and twice a spot in the English 3rd Division Team of the Year. As a manager, he's won League One, the FA Cup, and with Belgium a 3rd place in the FIFA World Cup. He's also won League One Manager of the Year, that's the English 3rd tier, and a League One Manager of the Month award. He's also won a Premier League Manager of the Month award, an FA Cup Manager of the Month award, and Belgium Sports Coach of the Year. He was also nominated in the FIFA The Best Men's Coach Awards. Well, he's named a 26-man squad as well as 11 reserves. The reserves are Kaminski, Michelet, Van Hoesten, Jordan Lukaku, Fouquet, Sambi Lokonga, Januzaj, Heinen, Salamakers, Verscharen and De Ketelaere. Most interesting of those is probably Salamakers of Milan, an interesting youngster. But unlikely to make the squad now. They will only make it if somebody gets injured before the tournament. Unless it's a goalie, they can replace them at any time, even after the tournament has started. Speaking of goalkeepers, the 3 that he has named are Thibaut Courtois, which is Belgium's pretty clear number 1. He regularly starts for club and country and will do the same at the finals. Number 2 is Simon Mignolet. He started games where Courtois was injured earlier in the season, and he's a pretty decent backup should Belgium require him. And 3rd is Matt Sells. He's had an injury-hit season. His record for recovering is a first call-up since 2019. He'll go with Belgium as 3rd choice keeper. We now move on to the defenders. 5 players listed as defenders. Toby Alderweireld of Tottenham. He's a regular starter for club and country. There's no reason that isn't the case again, even after a difficult season in North London. Dedrick Boyata. Boyata's come back from a long spell on the sidelines, just in time to come. He is just a backup for his country. Another centre-back there. Jason Denayer, he's a regular starter in Belgium's back 3, and starting as centre-back, he should have no problem again. Thomas Vermaelen, to be honest, he can consider himself lucky to get in the squad, but he is a decent backup centre-back. And finally, Jan Vertonghen, another regular starter for club and country. At centre-back, Vertonghen made his first cap in 2007 and still gets in the squad today. You might be wondering why there's only 5 players and they're all centre-backs. It's because Belgium play a back three, so they don't really have full backs, they have wing backs, and they decided to list them as midfielders. Starting with Timothy Castagna, who is a natural right back. He's a rotation player on the right of their midfield as a right wing back. Probably not going to start, but definitely an option there if something happens to the regular player. Nasser Chadli is a bit more of a utility man. He can naturally play on the left wing, but he can play on either side or attacking midfield or up front. So he's probably going to start from the bench. He can come on in any position. Yannick Carrasco is a left midfielder. He can also play as right midfield or left wing. He has had good form for his club side. I don't think he'll get regular time on the pitch though. Kevin De Bruyne, well, he's returned from injury just in time. A starting attacking midfielder. He's an absolutely ridiculously good player. He's played all around the pitch this season for City, left wing, up front. He's shone everywhere, and he is first name on the team sheet for both club and country. Leander Dendoncker is a more defensive-minded midfielder. He can also play at centre-back. I think Dendoncker will have a starting place at the Euros because they have quite an attack-minded formation, so just an extra defensive minded player would help them. Torgan Hazard is a left winger who's had a few injuries this season, just 15 starts, but I think he may well get a spot on the left-hand side of the midfield. Thomas Meunier is a natural right back, but listed as a right midfielder because of the formation, and that's where he'll start at the finals. Dennis Praet is a central midfielder. He can also play attacking midfield or defence midfielder. He got injured earlier in the season, and since returning, he hasn't been able to break back into the Leicester side, but he goes to the Euros as a backup in the middle of the park. Yuri Tielemans, a central midfielder. He can also play attacking midfield or defensive midfielder. He's been brilliant all season, and for that reason, he's a regular starter for his country. Hans Vanaken is an attacking midfielder or central midfielder. He's been good all season, but he is still just a backup for his country. And Axel Witsel is a defensive midfielder. He missed the second half of the season with an injury. If he's fit in time, he could start for Belgium, but that is a big if. He is a good player, and obviously a bit of a legend for his country and a centurion, but he might just miss out on regular playing time this campaign. We now move on to the forwards. There are 7 of those. Starting with Michy Batshuayi, and this striker, he's mainly been used off the bench for Palace this season. He can consider himself pretty lucky to be in the final squad, but he is just a backup for his country. Benteke has been in Christian Benteke, that is, has been in good form of late. This earns him a spot in the final squad, but it will be just as a backup striker. Jeremy Doku is a right winger who can also play on the left. He celebrated his 19th birthday yesterday, and he's earned himself a place as a backup in the Belgium squad. Eden Hazard, now this is a big talking point. He is a left winger. He can also play on the right or as a number 10. But Hazard has had an injury-hit season and a horrible time in the Spanish capital. That being said, he is still Belgium captain. He is a class player, but he hasn't earned a cap since 2019, and he's not completely fit. If he can make himself fit again, I know Martinez rates him. He might get a place, but right now, I think he might be utilised more off the bench, considering he's got a knock, and considering his form. He might just be brought on with 30 minutes to go, but we'll see. Romelu Lukaku is a striker. He's bagged 30 goals this season, the main man up top for his country. Absolutely fantastic player. Dries Mertens, he's a centre-forward or second striker, and that's where he sort of plays, almost in that like Bergkamp role, just behind Lukaku, but ahead of De Bruyne, and he does start for his country. And Leandro Trossard, who's a natural left winger, he can sort of play anywhere in that more advanced role of the pitch, attacking midfield, left wing, right wing, or second striker. He's another backup for his country. Belgium consistently play with 3 at the back. They normally use a 3-4-2-1, but they can also use a 3-4-3 with more wide players. Now, in goal, I've got Courtois, Alderweireld, Vertonghen and Deny the back 3. Moynier is the right wing back, pretty uncontroversial. I've got Tielemans and Dendoncker in the middle. Now I have Torgan Hazard on the left. I know now obviously Eden Hazard is a better player, but I think in that formation it's more defensive minded, and Torgan has he's not been injured all season. He's more fit. He's in better form. And I know this, it's a bit of an outlandish prediction, but we'll see. Then De Bruyne and Mertens playing behind Romelu Lukaku. Now, how much of that is right, we'll see. They are considered one of the favourites to go through from the tournament. One of the favourites to go all the way. Definitely the best team in Group B. But there are some areas of concern, for instance, the form and fitness of Hazard, and I think maybe their first 11 is very strong, but afterwards their backup players are a bit weaker. There's not too much squad depth there. But if their players can stay fit, stay in good form, they have every chance of winning their first international trophy. So, this video. Our next video will be a review of Turkey's international friendly and how they got on against Azerbaijan. Our next preview will be the final team in Group B, Russia, who were also in Belgium's qualifying group. We'll have a look at their squad. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like, a comment, and press the subscribe button. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you for the next one.